I'm here with Heather Chase of the local grocer in North Conway, and we're going to talk about spring a little bit. Thanks for joining us this morning. Now, I can't believe it's spring already, but here we are, mid to late March, and there are many things that people should be kind of considering as we go into the month. We were just talking off camera that, according to it's the Chinese calendar, or the Chinese?
Traditional Chinese medicine, spring is the season of the liver. Which it makes sense even looking at it from a Western or herbal perspective as well, because winter is a time of, we tend to eat a little bit heavier. Spring is a nice time to kind of work with the liver, imbibe in a little bit more alcohol maybe and things like that.
We just came off after St. Patrick's Day. There's a few people out there whose liver is not too happy with them right now, I'm sure.
But spring is a nice time to do a nice cleanse. Working with the liver and other eliminative organs. Our eliminative organs are very important for optimum health because they're responsible for, not only filtering toxins that we may take in, but also just normal metabolic waste products that are, normal to life.
Right.
And when those aren't functioning properly, we can, they can contribute to different chronic diseases and just a state of, malaise and lack of vitality. So spring is a great time to kind of jumpstart, the body, kind of give a little extra nourishment of the, those particular systems, the eliminative, the filtering organs, so to speak, kidneys, liver, liver in particular.
It's kind of like changing the oil filter in your car.
Yeah, a little bit.
Change that every 3,000 miles, or at least you should. Your poor liver never gets changed. So you need to you need to cleanse it.
It does. Like every 6 weeks you have a new liver.
Really?
That's the beauty of the body, is that you're making new cells all the time. So I mean, of course, if you reach a certain state of disease, then the body is unable to regenerate. But for most people, that we actually regenerate new cells all the time. The liver is one of the longest. Takes a little bit longer with the liver, but so
the liver I have right now is totally different than the liver I had a couple of years ago.
Exactly.
That's great.
Exactly right, or not, depending. But and as we get older, it needs a little bit more attention because it's had to do a little bit more, over the years, and we don't rejuvenate as easily when we get older. The cell replication doesn't happen quite as fast, so it needs a little bit extra attention. One of the reasons sometimes people develop seasonal allergies later in life. But there's something you can do about it. One of the things is to work with the liver, work with the adrenal glands, and another, actually one of the things that got me into herbal medicine in the first place like 15 years ago was I had really bad seasonal allergies, and I did just bee pollen for a couple months before May, and it was the first year of my life that I didn't have seasonal allergies.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was dramatic. It was dramatic. I mean, before it was almost, it was really, really bad for a whole month. And just working, and at the time, that's kind of what I knew about. And I kind of did a nice little spring cleanse too, so that always helps.
Right.
If you've worked with the liver's tied with that. Your adrenals are tied with histamine. Being able to break down those histamine byproducts and that type of thing. So the liver's really good to work with as well with allergies and working with the adrenal glands. So there's a number of herbs that are particularly good for seasonal allergies in particular. Nettle is one of my favorites. And the beauty of nettle is it's an all-over body tonic. It's really high in chlorophyll, green food, vitamins, minerals. It is nourishing to the liver and the kidneys and the adrenals. So with allergies, it's an antihistamine. So nettle's wonderful, and bee pollen, those two things together. And then some liver herbs, dandelion, echinacea, and eyebright, those are some others. But it's really good with seasonal allergies to get on it now.
Yeah.
It's really hard once you're in the middle of it to go and get an herbal remedy that's really gonna do the trick to, because at that point, what you preventatively is really always the best as far as herbal medicine goes.
It's easier
it's
to prevent than it is to cure. So if you have seasonal allergies, don't wait until it's late April, May, and the pollen's flying and your face is red and swollen. Get on it now.
Get on it now, because you really can prevent those things from happening, or at least lessen the symptoms. And I'm proof of that. So,
all right, and so you can actually probably consult with Heather if you want specifics on the things that maybe you can be doing, what types of supplements or things you should be ingesting to cleanse the liver and to get on the allergy thing. Right. But you can also, the local grocer is so vast in the things that you carry, including, my wife was in there yesterday and she was psyched to find her butter that she couldn't find anywhere. My wife, we've had some allergy issues with our baby daughter, and because she's nursing, my wife has had to cut out dairy and soy from her diet, which makes life miserable because you can't find things without dairy and soy. But she was psyched to find dairy and soy-free butter at the local grocer yesterday.
We have a lot of allergen-free foods. That's kind of one of our things that we do because those things are hard to find, and more and more people are developing food allergies, food sensitivities, food intolerances. That's another whole subject. But so we have a whole gluten-free aisle. Everything on our menu can be made gluten-free. We have a lot of dairy-free options, and we don't use soy a lot, except fermented soy in the cafe. And so we have a lot of allergen, free. We have a gluten-free bakery case as well. A lot of it is dairy-free and sugar-free as well. So the raw chocolate bar is kind of a healthy treat.
And you say menu because in addition to the grocery store, you have a great deli and cafe and little restaurant there where you can get everything. Are you still open for breakfast in the mornings?
We are, breakfast and lunch. So we're a health food store and a cafe, bakery and deli. So we sell sliced deli meats and cheeses. And we have a nice cafe, breakfast and lunch, and we have an urban supplement room, as you were saying before. So we have some nice, I think before we start talking about allergies, but as far as the cleanses go, people are interested in spring cleanses. We have a lot of different cleanse kits to make it easy for people who just want want it in a box. And
cleanse in a box.
Cleanse in a box. Well, it's a little bit more. You need to put a little bit more effort into that. But as far as buying, it's easy. Or when we have tinctures, liver tinctures and bowel cleanses and all that kind of stuff that go along with your spring cleanse. And there's all sorts of different ways to do cleanses, like I said. So people get a little afraid of cleanse, but you can do a nice modified. Take out the sugar and the the dairy and maybe clean up the diet a little bit, and then do some nourishing herbs, and even that is gonna really help your body. So
absolutely,
well,
that's great. I'm gonna throw this at you as we get into the changing of the season, spring, and then eventually into summer. How does that change the grocery? Because I know you guys carry a lot of local products. Do you see different things coming back in, or what's hot for the spring?
Well, locally, we're still waiting. There isn't really, we're...
it's hard to grow things through the snow.
It is. We're working on a 4-season greenhouse at our farm, Mountain Flower Farm, which is connected to the grocer. We provide vegetables in the summer. So hopefully next year, we'll have really early stuff going on, and some greens through the winter and things like that. But in the winter, you see a lot of local meats. We still have Peppermint Field Farm beef, Narrow Path, grass-fed beef, and we still have some Earl Family Farm pork. We have our lamb, so if people are interested for Easter, there's some nice lamb cuts for Easter dinner. We have people coming in for that. And so a lot of local meats right now. We're starting to look at least maybe getting some tomatoes from Vermont, things a little bit closer, but really locally, not quite yet, but fairly soon you'll start seeing more produce. And then in the summer, most of the produce in the market, I wouldn't say most, but definitely the majority of the produce in the market is going to be locally grown, which is always great. And we're still getting the eggs, and we still get Sherman Farm milk. So we do everything that we can. Like I said, in the winter, it's mainly your meats, your milk, your eggs, and we, storage vegetables that you have as long as you can. And so right now, we're looking forward to some Long Wind Farm tomatoes coming from Vermont, maybe even in a couple weeks, which isn't too far away here. And then, not that those are really seasonal, but they have, greenhouses there that they're able to produce those. And then we'll be looking for some early greens pretty soon, maybe sometime in May. We'll start seeing stuff from Earl Family Farm, Patty Bloom and Bartlett, and Pork Hill Farm in Ossipee, and Heartseed Farm, which is right over on West Side Road. So, and our farm. So. Well, kickstart your spring, get healthy, head to the local grocer. Heather Chase, thank you for joining us this morning. Did we miss anything? Anything else you want to plug before? Come on by for breakfast and lunch. It's the only all-natural cafe in town. All naturally raised meats and organic produce and all the good stuff. Delicious things in your lunch menu. And of course, it's very convenient because you're just north of North Conway Village in the Red Carriage Common, I believe. The Red Carriage Common, right by Maestro's. And we will be having a calendar event starting soon, doing a workshop series starting in late spring and summer. So we have a nice updated website, and we'll be posting it on Facebook. We're on Facebook and actively on there. So keep update on that, and pretty soon that'll be out, and we'll have a lot of interesting things happening there.
All right. Well, Heather, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
We will take a quick break and be back with more